Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This morning I'm going to be showing you how to make this skater button down skirt you're seeing on the thumbnail with a ruching by the side. So if you want to see that, keep on watching. But before we head right to it, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and thumbs up this video. So the first thing we are going to calculate is the round waist, and for us to get that, her round waist is the client's clothes, so her round waist is 31 inches. You divide it by 4, which is 7.75. So I am going to round it up to 8 and add 1 inch as my sewing allowance. So in general, our sewing allowance is 1.25. Then because this skirt in front, it has button, I am going to add 3 inches. This 3 inches is going to compensate for the buttonhole and the where the buttons are going to be placed. So by the time I add 3 inches to the 9 inches, it's going to be 12. So I'm going to come to this place and try and mark out, get a place that from this end to this end is going to give me 12 inches. And this is what I have here. This place is giving me 12 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark this place out. Now I've indicated this point. I will now put my tape from the beginning of this fabric. This is the beginning. This beginning to this place that we marked that point, and what I have is 16 inches. It is this. Wait, let me confirm this. No, what I have is 16.125. Do you get? Is in between 6 inches and 6.25. So I have 16.125. So I'll go ahead and mark this 16.125. This 16.125 is what we are going to use and form our round hole. And by the time I finish marking these and then we'll cross check it, we should have around that 12 inches that we are supposed to use for our round waist. Highest we'll have like maybe 12.5. Please confirm that if your own is not enough, you have to remark it until you get what you need. So let me now confirm what I have now. Let us confirm our round waist. So can you see exactly what I'm having here is 12.5, which is still okay. So I'm going to use 12.5. So this is going to serve as my waist, round waist. So I'll now come from here and mark out my 3 inches. Remember, I added 3 inches for our buttonhole. So I am going to rule the 3 inches down. I will go ahead and connect it. So we are going to come and mark our skirt length. The skirt length is 41 inches, but I'll be using 43 as a full length. That is going to include the sewing allowance. Now for me to mark out this my skirt length, now I'm going to remove 3 inches. The 3 inches is going to be my band. So what we are going to mark now is 40 inches for our skirts. Do you understand? So by the time we add our 3 inches, it's going to come back to 43 inches, which is our full length including sewing allowance. So I'll keep my tape from here and mark 40 inches. Then I'll cut it out. I will also cut out the waist length, sorry, the round waist. I'll go ahead and slash here open. So the next thing I'll do is to fold up these 3 inches that we have here. Remember that this 3 inches is for our buttonhole and button, you know, so it's not going to be at the back. So I am going to iron out these 3 inches. So it is like this. I will now go ahead and use and cut the back pattern. So for this back pattern now, I'll go ahead and mark out 1.5 sewing allowance. This is going to serve as our zip allowance. Okay, so I am going to mark this and go ahead and connect it together. I'll now come and place this my front pattern on the back pattern. Okay, so you see the way I folded this part, this our buttonhole side, that's how it's going to be. So I'll go ahead and adjust this my front pattern on my back pattern until the beginning of the thing starts from this 1.5 and also it ends here. Do you understand? You see the way there is no space here and also there is no space here. This is how it is going to be. So I will go ahead and cut out my back pattern. So you come to the waist here and then you're going to go in by 1 inch at this point. when you go in by 1 inch at this point, you're going to connect this 1 inch back to the, connect it back to the center back, like to the end. Do you understand? So you're going to connect it this way. This is going to help to eliminate any form of puff. Do you understand? So what I'll now do is to go ahead and cut here off. I'll cut it off like this, and then I'll come here and mark 1 inch here. So when I've marked 1 inch here, I'm going to connect this 1 inch back to this our zip allowance here. Do you see what I've done? So that is what you are going to do. So the next thing you are going to do now is to slash this part open, slash the zip open. Do you get? At this point, I want to measure out my waistband. Remember that my waistband is 3 inches that I'm using. The length I'll be using for this waistband is 35 inches. This is going to also include the sewing allowance because the client's round waist is 31. And then the width is going to be 3 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. I will also cut out my interfacing and iron it to the band to make this band to be a whole lot firm. Then I'll proceed to fold one side with 0.50, half an inch. The way we fold bias, you get, but I'll do it just at one side and I won't do it for the other side. Now we are going to bring back our front pattern. Remember that 3 inches that we folded in that we're supposed to use and form our buttonhole. Going to form our buttonhole and our button, where our button is going to be. Yes, so I am going to fold it in by 1 inch, and then I'll fold it in again by another 1 inch. Then I'll use my hemming gum to adhere it, like hold it down very well. Do you understand? It's gonna basically see me doing it here now. So I'm going to like fold it in first of all with 1 inch before I go ahead and fold it in again by another 1 inch. And when I do it for the first half of this material, I am also going to do it for the second half. Like this front pattern has 2 pieces. Yes, I'll head straight to the sewing machine. That front pattern where we folded the material into 2, where the cover button and the button is going to be on. I'll go ahead and top stitch the edge of it to make sure that it lies flat neatly. I'll do it on both sides. Then I will also go ahead and sew my center back, which is where my zip is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and sew my zip allowance. So what we are going to do next, now we're on the table, is to bring our front pattern, the 2 of them. You see that 1 inch part that we sewed? We are going to overlap these 2 patterns at that 1 inch. Do you understand? So that is going to form our center front. You're going to overlap it. You're not going to drop it to be facing each other, like lying close to each other. You're going to overlap it, like place one on top of one, just like how you see me doing now, and then you're going to pin it together. After you're done with that, you're going to also go ahead and pin the material, like overlap it, like pin it all the way down. Yeah, so when you are done pinning it all the way down, the next thing to do is to bring your center back and make sure that the center back coincides with the center of the front. And that the center of the front part is that part that we overlapped. So you're going to make sure that both of them coincide. And once you get everything like looking perfect, you will now proceed to mark out your your round waist. Remember that our round waist is 31 divided by 4 is 7.75. Then I'll go to the table and join the sides together. Remember from the thumbnail that this skirt has ruching by the side. So what I'm doing now is to come and neatly join the ropes that we are going to attach to the side of both sides of this skirt to help us get our ruching. So I'm going to neatly finish this off. I think the length of the rope I used was about 45 in length, and then the width is 1 inch, but the length of this is going to dependent on the length of your own skirt. Do you understand? So do it custom, make it to the length of your own skirt. So I'll just go ahead and run stitch on all 4 pieces. So you're going to have 4 pieces, 2 for each side. The next thing we are going to do is for you to bring the skirt back. The sewing allowance by the sides, open them together so they are separated. You understand? Just like how I'm showing you here. And then you're going to run a stitch 050 from the very beginning of the skirt length to the down part of it. This this 050 we are going to run down is going to help form the channel through which the rope is going to be passed across. Now we are done with this. We are going to go ahead and hem the down part of this skirt, and for me to hem this, I am going to turn it by 2 inches. Like I'm going to turn it with 1 inch first of all, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it again with another 1 inch. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, I've used 2 inches as my hemming allowance. So I'll go ahead and pin it very well and then sew it down. So now I am going to bring the rope that we have done, and then I'll get my pin and I'll pass the pin through the part of the rope that we didn't finish the edge properly, and then I'll start from the down part of this skirt, the part that we hemmed, and then take this rope up through that 050 channel that we formed with our sewing allowance by the side, and take it up to the waist side. When I reach the waist, and I've added like the 2, remember that this rope you're going to have 2 in one side. So once I've passed both ropes and they have come up to the waist, I'll go ahead and secure it on the sewing machine. The next thing we are going to be doing now is to bring our waistband and then sew it to the waist of the skirt. Do you understand? And once we are done sewing this, we are going to go ahead and attach our zip and then finish this skirt properly, iron it and fix our buttons, and the skirt is ready. So guys, here is the finished look of this outfit. The client hasn't sent me her video for you guys to see it on her body by the time I am uploading this video, so that's why I'm using my own picture, but this is the exact replica of the outfit. I'm also going to leave the client review here so you guys can see. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, thumbs up this video, and I'm going to see you guys in my next one.